scout, it is difficult to find a single talent evaluator who doesn't, quote, genuinely dislike Bryce Harper. Another scout said he was a bad person. A team executive called him a, quote, selfish losing player, and Bryce Harper even said himself, on the field, he's a, quote, and a Bryce Harper has won 2 MVPs, 2 Silver Sluggers, made 6 All-Star teams, while still somehow being voted the most overrated player by players 4 times. Since 2012, there isn't a single player who's been ejected more times than Bryce Harper. He's been intentionally hit by pitchers multiple times, gotten in verbal altercations with fans multiple times, got choked out by his own teammate, and got into a brawl so violent it ended a player's career. He's been called lazy, self-absorbed, and overrated more than anyone in baseball. But in 2021, Bryce Harper proved all of
that's
this
that NL MVP. Facts.
nobody thought was possible while overcoming the scariest, most dangerous moment of his life. Unfortunately for him, a lot of these people still hate him. What makes Bryce Harper different is that he embraces the role of the villain. It seems to make him better, and he is not afraid to respond.
330 million, 0 for 3.
He was the most publicized prospect in baseball history, while also perhaps being the cockiest, and he had every right to be so. Bryce Harper was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and literally called baseball's chosen one. And the craziest part about this is that on the way to the photo shoot, he crashed his car and was almost arrested because Bryce Harper wasn't even old enough to drive yet. Luckily for him, his only punishment was apparently having to view corpses in the morgue at the Clark County's coroner's office. He made the photo shoot for the article that claimed that Bryce Harper hit a home run 570 feet when he was a freshman in high school. That's
disgusting.
The second longest home run in Major League history.
Babe Ruth 575, maybe?
But what can't be argued is that Bryce Harper hit the farthest home run in Tropicana Field history when he was 16.
What's up, demons? How you doing, brother? You some shit 502 in Tropicana? Oh my gosh.
And it is not uncommon for some fans to take this taunting even further.
Going on, demons? We just watching some.
You can try as hard as you want. You'll never be as good as Acuna.
Acuna.
Even with as much hate opposing fans give Harper today, the taunting he received from opposing players and fans as a teenager was arguably even worse. By the time
Swing was so vicious. It still is, but
was already his
it's crazy.
And was so bored with high school baseball, he dropped out, got his GED, and entered college 2 years early, which he describes as the hardest year of his life. Over 2,000 people came to the team's first game. 2 security guards guarded the team's dugout the entire season to prevent fans from running in, and his college baseball card sold for over $12,000. That year, a woman tricked him into giving her his number.
The fact that him and Mike Trout came in like damn near at the same time is insanity.
Cops on her. In the team's first scrimmage, the opposing team immediately started taunting Harper. He responded by hitting a home run and mocking them while running around third base. This continued to happen the whole year, so situations like this were not uncommon.
How you gonna say?
Later in the season,
You know what's so overrated? He just pimped some shit 700 feet.
At his head. Bryce Harper told him, quote,
They're wildin'.
I hit the ball 500 feet. I can do what I want. The 2 had to be separated. After making a bad throw, an opposing team's dugout started mocking him. Harper
That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it.
Given his first career ejection. One scout described Harper as having a, quote, top of the
Alright, bro. Appreciate you, man.
A disturbingly large sense of entitlement, adding that he was a, quote, bad guy. Another report claimed it was hard to find a scout who didn't genuinely
I appreciate you for stopping by
also. Also,
saying what's
there
up.
wasn't a scout who didn't think he was by far the best prospect in baseball. He won the Golden Spikes Award, had more home runs and RBIs than anyone in college while using a wooden bat, and was so tired of getting walked once while getting intentionally walked, swung anyway, and ended up hitting a sacrifice fly. And he did all of this while he was supposed to be a junior in high school. But as dominating as his college career was, it ended in the saddest way possible.
Got into another accident.
Bryce struck out on an outside pitch. While walking back to the dugout, he drew a line in the dirt with his bat to show the umpire that it was a ball. He was ejected and suspended 2 games. Fans were so mad, the umpires had to be escorted off the field, but it was too late. Harper's college career was over. Bryce Harper himself admitted that on the field he was a, quote, asshole. But despite scouts and fans saying he was a self-absorbed diva, not one coach or teammate in college had anything bad to say about him. Harper was just a competitive guy who wasn't going to take from anyone in a league where everyone gave him.
Facts.
He got even more of it. When Harper arrived at his first Major League spring training, his teammates supposedly replaced the name on his locker with Big Boy, which was probably just some friendly rookie hazing.
Nah, none of y'all could fight though. I bet that's what he was saying.
Opposing pitcher, he hit a bomb off him, stared at the ball, and after getting yelled at, rounding third base, blew a kiss in the pitcher's face. Harper also got his first professional ejection after completely losing it on an umpire after a strikeout. Bryce Harper dominated the minors and quickly moved up to the majors at 19 years old, where despite never playing a game, was immediately booed. In his first at-bat, he hit an easy ground ball to the pitcher, then sprinted to first base in less than 5 seconds. In August, he set a record by rounding the bases on a home run in 16.2 seconds. That same season, Ryan Roberts hit an inside the park home run and only rounded the bases 0.3 seconds faster. In his second week in the majors, Bryce Harper got so pissed, he slammed his bat against the dugout. It ricocheted and hit him in the eye. He was bleeding out of his face, had to get 10 stitches, but refused to come out of the game. In 2013, he ran
psycho, bro.
face first into a wall in Dodger Stadium. He was bleeding from his neck, had to get 11 stitches, but apparently tried to stay in the game. He ended up missing a month with a knee injury. Bryce Harper played with a tenacity people weren't used to, and a lot of them hated him for it.
Yo, Bryce is actually different.
Cole Hamels nailed him with a 93-mile-per-hour fastball. Later in the inning, Bryce Harper stole home when Hamels tried to pick off a runner at first. Cole Hamels was suspended, later admitting to hitting Harper on purpose because he, quote, wanted to continue the old baseball and welcome Bryce Harper to the big leagues. Later that year, Ozzie Guillen had issues with Harper after he called him out for having too much pine tar on his bat. In his next plate appearance, he used a different bat and pointed it at Ozzie Guillen to show him. Guillen immediately got out of the dugout, yelled at either Harper or the Nats dugout, and kept screaming throughout the at-bat. After the game, he had even more to say to Harper.
But this kid continues to do that. He might not make it. He's gonna fool around with the wrong guy, and that wrong guy will kick. He might not make it. I love this kid.
Marlins outfielder Logan Moore.
He's not gonna make it.
Quote, kind of a
I think you made it. I think you made it, Ozzy.
Him, quote, unprofessional. After the game, his teammates covered a bat in pine tar, had Harper autograph it and write "To my hero Ozzy" from Bryce Harper and gifted it to Ozzie Guillen. Bryce Harper basically just hustled a lot, was 19 and got a ton of attention. That was enough for many people to resent him, including umpires.
He's such a savage.
He was ejected just for throwing his helmet after a close play.
That was a "how dare you throw your helmet at my feet, I'm the umpire and you're out of this game."
The next year, he was upset he was called out on a check swing. The umpire was upset that he got upset and told him to go back to the dugout. He did, but threw his helmet while doing it and was thrown out again.
And a guy 120 feet away throws him out. Hirschbeck was looking to throw him.
Yo.
The batter's box quick enough while the umpire was arguing with his manager.
You can't throw him out for that. All these fans came here to watch Bryce Harper play, and you're going to throw him out because he's not in the box?
This might have been the origin story of Bryce Harper's disdain for umpires, because since then,
Bruh.
no one more of them than Bryce Harper. He's been ejected 16 times in 10 seasons. He once even got ejected for arguing after swinging and missing, saying after the game he was just too fired up from listening to Logic and Chance the Rapper. He's been ejected 4 times when he wasn't even on the field.
Imagine lying.
Called out on this pitch.
Imagine lying. Ain't no way.
3 pitches into the next batter's plate appearance.
Ain't no way that brother was listening to Logic and Chance the Rapper and that made him crazy.
You're a crybaby. You're sensitive. Loser, you're in the loser.
In 2016, Danny Espinosa
Down
struck
boy.
out on this pitch. He began arguing with the umpire, but then the umpire proceeded to throw out Bryce Harper, who was in the dugout, apparently arguing even more. The next batter hit a walk-off home run.
Motherfucker just
Harper
looked
back
for
onto the
Bryce.
field to celebrate, stopped celebrating to tell the umpire this, then went back to celebrating. The umpire even once threatened Bryce Harper while he was playing center field.
Field.
The next inning, that
To
same
make
umpire
somebody-
called this a strike. Harper argued, but somehow managed to stay in the game.
He's getting eyeballed here, big time.
He was now making an effort to no longer get ejected from games. 5 days later, he got ejected for arguing balls and strikes. Harper even once got ejected during spring training.
Maybe that's why some folks don't like him in the game of baseball.
He is so competitive and gets so pissed off.
You hear the media on the umpire side.
In the clubhouse to prevent him from punching a wall. Harper's rookie season went about as good as it could. He was an all-star, won Rookie of the Year. The team reached the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. He had the 4th highest selling jersey in baseball.
He was doing everything he could.
To this day, Bryce Harper put up the highest WAR out of any 19-year-old in MLB history. He is the
Yikes.
most popular player in baseball and also one of the most hated. Because when someone says something Bryce Harper doesn't like, he is not afraid to respond. In 2012, a Toronto reporter asked him if he would take advantage of the lower drinking age and have a beer
Snipe.
after the game. Harper was 19 and doesn't drink, so he responded by saying,
That's a clown question, bro.
this response
Clown
went
question,
viral,
bro.
became a slogan, and was even said by a senator.
I don't want to answer that question. That's a clown question, bro.
In 2013, Harper hit a home run off of Julio Tehran and apparently stared at the ball too long. The next at-bat, Tehran drilled him with a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. Harper immediately retaliated by screaming at him, and the bench is cleared. The Braves Twitter
That's big
account
pussy
responded
shit.
by tweeting, quote, clown move, bro. And if Braves fans already didn't hate him enough, the next year, while getting booed in Atlanta, he dragged his cleat over the Braves logo every time he went to the plate.
I mean, he just does things that most players don't do.
Next year, he was voted by players as the most overrated player in baseball.
Nah,
for
they're
the
actually
first time.
angry.
He was also
He had a
banned from
slump though, I think,
running
that
as a
one year, yeah.
comebacker, leading to even more criticism. Harper's extreme hustle had already resulted in him getting injured in 3 out of his first 4 professional seasons, which may have convinced him to tone down his aggressiveness. It also caused one of the biggest teammate-on-teammate fights baseball's ever seen. But before we get to the home run too long, after the game, Harper defended Machado, saying he thought Papelbon hitting him was, quote, pretty tired, and that he'd probably get drilled the next day, which caused Goose Gossage to say Harper, quote, didn't know squat about the game, and Sergio Romo to say Harper should shut up. Papelbon apparently confronted Harper in the locker room after the interview. 4 days later, after watching Harper jog on a pop-up, he confronted him again. The two yelled at each other, Papelbon tried to strangle him, and the two had to be separated. After the game, Harper said,
Bro, Papelbon had higher ground. Look at this whack. This man Papelbon, he's like on the steps right here. So like, you see, like he's on the steps, or he's got if he goes down, that's all the momentum. Like, look where he starts, and yeah, Bryce couldn't even defend himself right there. Papelbon's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the last 6 games of the year.
Were you injured doing the melee?
Like I said, I'm just ready for the next 6 games.
Did you and Papelbon have problems before today?
Yeah, I'm just really excited for the next 6 games.
Papelbon said he was wrong. Did he say that to you?
Hopefully move forward and do what I can for the next 6 games.
Despite the trade, Papelbon and Harper today are apparently friends, and Papelbon admitted he was in the wrong. But according to at least one journalist, out of the 12 players he asked, all 12 were on Papelbon's side. Despite this massive distraction, Harper dominated Major League Baseball, leading the
Dudes
league
be
in
hating the hate, huh?
slugging percentage, OPS, runs, home runs, and won MVP at 22 years old. MLB.com
Oh gosh.
rated his performance as the best single season of any player in the 2010s, and this happened right after the players voted in a preseason poll that Bryce Harper was the most overrated player in baseball.
Yeah,
the
that's
second year in a row.
that's
He was
hating
also
shit.
the most feared
They're all
player in the
hating.
league. However, there was one pitcher who wasn't afraid of Harper, which led to one of the most violent brawls in baseball.
Oh
history.
yeah, let's talk about it.
Bryce Harper hit an absolute bomb off Hunter Strickland in the NLDS. A few days later, he hit another bomb off Strickland, who got mad at Harper for standing in the box too long. Strickland said something to Harper. Harper looked at him a little, then got into the dugout and started yelling at him. The Giants ended up beating the Nationals and winning the World Series. But 3 years later, the two met again.
I said, they're bringing him in. If he hits me, I'm going. You better be on the top step coming out. Because I'm going. Like, if he hits me, I'm going.
Strickland threw a first pitch fastball at Bryce Harper. Harper charged the mound and almost nailed him with a helmet.
Bro,
they punched each other
the anger you gotta feel to throw a helmet, it gotta be crazy.
Got a concussion after he collided
Boom!
with Jeff Samardzija. Many people credit Michael Morse with saving Bryce Harper by getting in the way of Samardzija, who is 6'4", 233 pounds, and going full speed directly at Harper. 2017 was likely Michael Morse's last year anyway, but due to the concussion, he never played a single MLB game again. Harper was
that's
in
crazy.
his next 3 seasons in Washington, but never reached the insane level of production he achieved in 2015. And by 2018, he was once again voted the most overrated player in baseball, earning 48% of the vote, his highest total yet. But this is nothing compared to the he received that offseason after signing a 13-year, $330 million contract.
Got up out of there.
The level of criticism even Harper may have not have been used to.
He's simply overrated. The good ain't worth the bad. Cares about himself more than the team. He's just not worth it. He's a selfish, losing player. Wow.
Harper proved all of these critics wrong in 2021, overcoming a potentially career and life-threatening incident to have his most unlikely season ever. But Harper's time in Philadelphia honestly got off to a terrible start. After striking out twice, Bryce Harper got booed by his own fans in his first game ever as a Philly. Later that month, he would get booed even more, and even though he had an OPS close to 900, said, quote, "I'd boo me too." That month, he was also publicly criticized by a teammate after he was ejected for screaming at an umpire in the dugout. He got so mad, he got thrown out, came out of the dugout, yelled at the umpire some more while being physically restrained by his manager, who was also screaming at the umpire. After the game, Jake Arrieta was upset with Harper for getting ejected, leading to rumors that the Phillies clubhouse had already turned toxic. That month, Harper also had a confrontational return to Washington, who now seemed to hate him. In his first at-bat, he was booed and struck out. In his second at-bat, he was booed again and struck out again. Then Harper hit a double in the 5th, an RBI hit in the 6th, and in the 8th, hit an absolute bomb, pulled up a massive bat flip, and also celebrated with Phillies fans in right field. But Nationals fans were not the only ones who didn't welcome Bryce Harper. While playing in Chicago, Harper caught the 3rd out. He turned to throw the ball to a fan, then saw several Cubs fans giving him the middle finger, and he proceeded to throw the ball out of the stadium. Giants fans absolutely tormented Harper, and he made them pay multiple times. After being called overrated by a fan, Harper hit a homer, turned around, and pointed at him. Harper hit another homer against the Giants, and after getting booed going around the bases, told them all to be quiet. But as cool as these homers are, Harper's best moment
nah, that is so gangster.
Earlier that year in April, Harper took a 97-mile-per-hour fastball directly to the face. And as scary as it was, Harper got up and walked off the field on his own. Later,
that's so G.
Face is still there, so we're all good. It was basically a miracle there was no broken bones.
Holy shit, dude.
4 days later, it was way more serious than anybody knew. He returned almost immediately, but had one of the worst months of his career. He struck out 40% of
he must mentally, that must have messed him up.
He was eventually
placed
on the injured list, partially because somehow the pitch injured his wrist more than his face, but also because he needed time off to get over the fear the pitch to the face caused. According to his GM, nobody knew what Harper went through to overcome that pitch, and that he didn't want to get into it because it was so personal. Harper himself got extremely emotional when it came up in an interview after the season, but as scary as this was, when Harper returned,
damn, he just got hit again the other day, man. But it was in his hand. But I'm sure that shit scared him. That's crazy.
Second MVP award. Harper has solidified himself as one of the hardest working, hardest playing, and undoubtedly one of the best players in baseball. Does this mean people will stop hating him? Probably not. But that will probably only make him better. Do you guys want to listen to my new podcast with
The biggest villain in baseball, man. If you enjoyed that video, make sure to drop a like and a sub down below, and I will catch you boys in the next one. Peace.